Hey guys, so had a couple questions to expand a little bit on what I do for the OfferUp and like local classifieds and Craigslist that I see that I've mentioned before that I look for the older versions, the oldest offers out there, or not the oldest, but I search through the old ones because you can find some good stuff on that. Basically what I do is, the first piece of advice I have is remember that it's not personal, it's business. Unless you're buying something to use it, and even then try to be business-like about it, but it's not personal, it's business. So when you use the technique, if you decide to, that I do, you're gonna get a lot of people that tell you to GFO or whatever, but you'll get a bunch of good ones too. So just remember, it's not personal, and it works especially well on OfferUp or ones that have a messaging system. So I look through and I'll look for electronics, books. I mainly find electronics, and the majority of the stuff I find is stuff that I'm going to sell on eBay, which right now is kind of a minor part of what I do. I prefer FBA, as I mentioned before, just because of the management. I can just send it in and then it's sold. So these items tend to have a little bit more margin in them, but but I do have to package them and ship them myself and do the stuff on eBay. So with that being said, if I'm not going to make money on it, I don't mess with it. And I generally have to go meet someone or have a time that they come to me or whatever's going to happen. So there's a little more time involved than just sending something to FBA. And unless you can get a group of them together where you're meeting them at one time or something, then, you know, you can waste a lot of time. So consider that before you purchase anything. So what I do is I find an item, and if it looks interesting, if it's something that can resell, I look for pretty much new and like new items. Unless it's in really high demand, then I'll look if it's, got some wear or used to a point. But generally I look for new and like new items, preferably in the box. It's usually stuff people got as a gift and then they didn't need or something, or they bought and realized that buyer's remorse and want to get rid of. So I'll look on eBay and I do the search for sold listings. I go into options and choose sold listings. And I do this when I don't do this like non-stop. I do this if I'm sitting there watching TV or I'm doing something else, I'll be on my phone and just switch back and forth between the eBay app and the OfferUp app. And I'll look at the eBay app, and let's say the item's selling, one that I just did, Fitbit 2 charge. It's selling for 120 to 150 new, depending on size and color. I messaged these guys and they didn't tell me what size or color it was. For some reason they didn't know. But anyway, so I basically went with the low price of 120, messaged them back and said, I'll give you $70 for it. They come back, oh, that's super low. Well, I said, my standard reply, because hardly anybody takes me, oh yeah, it's yours. Hardly anybody takes that offer. But I have already decided that is what I'm going to pay for that item. I'm not going to pay any more for it. So if I do, we're talking like $5 more, but I'm not going to pay any more for it. If it was something I could sell on FBA and it had a high ranking and I knew I could just flip it, I may mess around with it a little more. But in general, with these online classifieds, I'm going to shoot them one offer and that's it. So I'll get a message back that says, no way. And my canned standard reply is, okay, based on other prices I've seen, that's what I'm willing to pay. If you change your mind, let me know. Now, I spent probably a week and a half doing nothing but that, and I didn't buy a single thing. Nothing. So it almost seems like a waste of time. However, down the road, weekend or so later, you start getting messages. Hey, are you still interested in such and such? Yep. Well, can you pay this? And they'll up it $10 or whatever. And I reply back, I'll buy it today for. That's how I get most of my items. I see them 1 week. I usually don't buy them for a week. Every now and then you'll get somebody where the timing is just right and it says, I got to get rid of this today, you know, and it's a great deal and you go buy it. But in general, what I do on those classifieds is I shoot them my best price, the only price I'm going to pay for it. And if they're going to take it, they're going to take it. And probably, I would say probably 90% don't take it. And then I don't hear from them for a week. And the nice thing about OfferUp is it pulls up your messages so you know what you told them, you know everything. So you're good to go. A couple other ones I use locally, I just keep my text messages and they're way at the bottom so when somebody texts me back. But that's what I do. And people are gonna get pissed off. They're gonna be mad that you lowballed them. But if you're buying it and it's your business, you've got cash, this is what it's worth to you. If they want to sell it, they'll sell it. If they're not going to sell it, then they can go deal with it somewhere else. It's not, I don't know why people take it personal, but that's just all there is to it, is you make that offer however much you're going to pay, and then if they don't want it, go for it. But it doesn't do you any good to go up higher and lose money on the deal because you've got to put more effort into it. So just my 2 cents on how I deal with auctions, or not auctions, but I am similar with auctions, but how I deal with these online classifieds. It's, you know, set your price, stick with your price, and don't, you know, like I said, when people get mad at you, don't take it personal. They shouldn't be taking it personal. It's a business transaction. And then it's always best, obviously, to meet in a public place. Just the disclaimer there. Meet in a public place. If you're selling yourself, preferably don't meet at your house. I do every so often, but it's just, if it's a buyer I feel good about. Try to meet in a public place and be safe about it, especially if you're female. I'm 6'3" and 220, so I'm not stressed about that. But if you're a female, don't put yourself in a bad position. But anyway, that's just my ideas on how I deal with those classified ads and ways that you can kind of use the least amount of time and hopefully get the most amount of results out of it. So anyway, until next time, guys, keep sourcing, and hopefully everything is going good for you. Just source, list, repeat, and move on. Like, comment, subscribe if any of this is helping you, and trying to get my classified money organized, and we'll go from there. But until next time, everybody have a good one.